So today I'll be introducing you Google Docs and Zotero. And all it's done is for the purpose of writing in collaborative manner. So as you remember my previous, or if you attended that, I'm just like really into this social networking, doing collaborative working together. So this is the part of the challenge that we are writing in collaborative ways. So I'll just share this link with you, but I'll need you to follow these 3 steps. So we will be using Zotero today. And so if you can install this to your computer and to your Chrome browser, that would be awesome, so that we can just like work on this document together. And then cite some citations, do some research, and then doing the all writing process here. So I'll go ahead and share the link with everyone. When you click on the link, you will be assigning an anonymous animal name. So you will be seeing this document and you will have all the privileges and editing options here. This is a great number of collaborating teams. Like, so we have like 5 people here. So if you could just like start editing stuff here, that would be awesome. So that let's explore this, how Google Docs works. So if you start typing on your keyboard, it will appear here. So wherever your cursor is. So for example, if I remove this image, it will be removed on your side, on your screen as well, because this is the document that we are working together right now. Just explore how it's responding when we type together. So it is just a single document and we are working on the same canvas. So if you are working with Google Docs for a while now, so you know that how it functions. So I'll jump back to the other features that Google Docs provides us and then go with the Zotero as well. So meanwhile, you are experiencing with this document, just edit, do some highlighting, change style, anything. Could you please go this link, the first link, user register. So I'm highlighting it here. And if you don't have a Zotero account, please register one. Zotero is a reference management system that we are using with the Google Docs to cite the literature within our inline citation and creative bibliographic references. So if you click on this, it will just pop up this one, and I just click on the register at Zotero, and it will take you to this Zotero website. As I said, Zotero is a reference management system. It's an open system, open source system, and it's completely free. So there is no any payment options or anything here. So it's totally safe. So you will need to create your username, your email, and your password. So be careful with your username and password, because we will be using that information shortly. So once you register, I need you to download this Zotero application to your computer, because this is the application where we host our library when we search literature on PubMed or Scholar or EBSCO, any other different libraries. So the second item is going to be the downloading the Zotero and installing it to your computer. So I'll put the link on the chat as well. So when you download and install, you will have this kind of software on your computer. I'm using Windows at the moment, so this is the Windows version. So if you are using Mac or Linux, you will be seeing the slightly different interface, but it will be similar to this one. And the next thing, we'll need to be adding a Zotero connector to your Chrome browser. I promise this is the last step of installation, is all the softwares. So Zotero connector is the plugin Chrome browser. And when you search the literature, it enables you to import this literature search result to your Zotero library. So this is the last step of the installation. So I repeat, register, download, and then install the Chrome browser extension connector. So once you are here, I'll need you to register, download Zotero, and install Chrome plugin so that we will up and ready for writing together. So in terms of if anyone has completed these steps, can give me a feedback on chat or thumbs up so that I can understand like what is our current speed with this installation. All right, so we are meeting at this Google Doc and we installed the Zotero and we have the Zotero account registered and then Google Chrome button installed like this one. So you will be seeing this button in your Chrome browser when you edit this third step. And once you downloaded and installed the Zotero application, so you will need to register. You will need to sign in with your account. So if you can't see everything here, when you open the Zotero account on your computer, you will go to the preferences and sync button here. So you will need to link your account with the registered Zotero profile. So make sure this syncing works because what it does is just like when you collect some items in your library, like articles, journals, books, anything, it is syncing with your Zotero profile online, and it gives you the backing up your library, as well as if you are using multiple devices, like your phone, if you have a second computer, it is linking and synchronizing every content across your devices. So this is a good way to synchronize it. So I'll just briefly introduce this interface. So this is kind of like Gmail or Outlook. Think about this is like the inbox and the other different folders within your email. And on the right side, these are like representing the emails. But actually here in this case, these are like every resources within your library. So you will be seeing empty screen if you just new registered to Zotero. But if you previously use it, you will be seeing your previous papers are here. So these are all the list. And then when I click on this, any item here, so it will give me all the bibliographic information about the authors, about the titles, journal article type, and the other important information about each resources that I have in my library. So in terms of how to add these resources to my library, so this is becoming really easy because once we do the installation, so let's go to PubMed and then do a literature search. So I'll just go with faculty development and search the literature with this keyword. So this is the usual way that we are doing up to now. But now we will be changing our way of adding the citations and adding the resources to our libraries. So for example, I seen this article and then I look at the abstract and I thought like this is gonna be helpful for my research in the future. So I'm just like clicking this button here, Zotero button, and it is importing the resources on this page. So which is the article on this one, on faculty development of STEM inclusive teaching practices. So when I go back to my desktop application, I am seeing exactly the same article here. So here's all the information about the authors, years, and where it's published. And also, if it's free full text, I am seeing the full text PDF of this article in my library. So this is a good way to save the resources to your library, and then you will be reading this along the way. So you could also do Google Scholar, Science Direct, many other different places to search your literature. So this is becoming really helpful when you're doing this literature search. And when I go back to this list, so you can also, on this page where you are seeing multiple articles in a page, you can click on the Zotero Add button again, and it will give you all the resources within this page. For example, we have 10 articles in this page, and whatever I want to add to my library, I'm just like selecting or cherry picking them, and then I'm just hitting OK, and 3 articles are adding to my library. So when I go back to my Zotero account, so I'm seeing these 3 new articles are added to my library. If you are on the search page, like where you are seeing the search results, not particular article. So when you click on this Zotero add button, so this button is coming from the third step. Remember this third step here, like this is the Google Chrome Zotero connector button. When you install this, you will be seeing this button added to your Chrome browser. So sometimes this is hidden under this puzzle button. So like if you click on the puzzle piece, and then you will be able to
I
pin
found it.
this.
Yeah, got it now. Thank you.
Sometimes it's unpinned with the recent development, so you will not see it. But when you click on the pin Zotero connector, it will show up here. All right, so once we edit these articles to our libraries, we can quickly review it because sometimes, even though like recent year publications are really good of indexing all the metadata with it, like the authors and everything, it is a wise step to just oversight them and then see like all the DOI and all the pages and numbers are correct. So this will be really helpful to cross-check with the full text and then see, okay, this is the article and this is the authors if it's right. So if this is indexed wrongly, like here, author, last name and anything, when you cite these papers, it's going to be cited in a wrong way of doing. So just make sure that the right article types, right author, last names, first names, right title, volume, issue numbers, these information could be seen on the reference list. So, but you can always update this list. So even if you cite them, so I'll just show you in a bit. So this is great. We have these articles in our library, but sometimes it gets really crowded here. For example, in my library, I have like 3,000, more than 3,000 articles in my library. So this is sometimes hard to find, even though there is a search function. What I do generally, I put every paper to its their own project folder. So I create a folder here, like there's a new collection button. So when I click on this button, I'll prompt a folder name. So this is kind of labeling the articles. So I'll just put it MacPFD14, and then the new collection is started here. So as you can see, like every paper I'm writing, there's a folder for them. So I'm just organizing everything within that folder. So here's the empty newly created list. So when I want to add these resources or relate these resources to existing ones, so I'm just selecting them and then dragging and dropping to the new collection. So this will just like labeling these articles. So when I click on this, all these articles are organized within that folder. And this is a great way to adding the new articles because like when it's selected this collection, when you go back to your PubMed literature search and you want to add more articles, since this is selected currently, like all this folder, when you add these new articles, it will automatically save to this new collection because like currently it is selected here. The new articles are coming within that folder. So my suggestion is create a folder or collection before you are doing the literature search. And then when you are doing the literature search, make sure that it is selected. And when you collect all the articles, it will be collated within this collection part. But these articles is going to be appear in my library because this is a kind of higher order in this tree. So you will be seeing these articles in my library as well. So it is just like labeling from one source to another source. All right. So is there anyone having trouble or need help with adding the resources to their libraries? Do you have at least one article or one resource in your Zotero library? If not, I can just show it to you once more time and just we can do it like in other ways. So for example, if you have a PDF of the articles in your computer, you can drag and drop, or you can just like you choose the import option, or you can also create a new item from scratch. So for example, if you want to create something that is not indexed online and it is just a offline, non-digital conference paper, let's say, so you can create that kind of information by hand. So title of the abstract comes here, and then name of the authors, you can put it, and you can add more authors here, and then you can put a date or proceeding titles, conference name. So I'll just put it MacPFD14, and you will be able to create this kind of resources by hand. But this is really cumbersome, and I found it really confusing most of the time because you need to type everything by hand, and it is open to mistyping and misinterpreting. So make sure that it is typed in a right way of the. So any question? I'm observing the chat. There's nothing. Okay, Andres has one. Okay, Zotero versus other reference management systems. So I started my reference management software use with EndNote like almost 10 years ago. I was using like X2, X3, X4, and I used, I guess, like until X7. And then I gave up because like it is so expensive using EndNote, and if you don't have like budget or something, it might be really something financially hurtful for you. But other than that, back in time, EndNote didn't provide any useful synchronization feature like synchronizing across the device. But I guess nowadays it supports through myendnotelibrary.com. So that's a good sign. And it is not, you can't use this EndNote with Google Docs. So you can't use with the collaborative writing manners. And I still use Mendeley. Like you can see this Mendeley software on my computer, which is also provide you free options. It comes with the basic free options here. This is developed by Elsevier, but recent years, Elsevier was not updating this software very much, and it became really confusing between the classical Microsoft Word document as well as the Microsoft Word 365, which is the online support. And they are using two different citation managers. So you can't use them interchangeably. But once your teammates are opening the Microsoft Word with their 365s, all of your Mendeley citations are gone and you have to redo them again. So this is kind of not working for us. And last 2 years, we started using Zotero because like all of our projects went online and we've been working with like different collaboratives around the world. So we can't do this with Microsoft Word because it's not allowing us to write the same document back in then, and now 365 is supporting, but Mendeley is a really limited support for citation management. That's because we moved to Google Docs and using Zotero together. These two combination creates you a really convenient way of writing and also citing the documents all together with your collaborators. So that's because we moved Zotero, and it's also open source. It's also free, so there's no breaking changes along the way. So there's a big community behind the Zotero platform. So they're always supporting and updating with the recent developments of the technology. So this is always great to have them. So that's kind of my 3 software comparison because I've been experienced with 3 of the softwares. And I haven't used PaperPile, but I heard that it's working on Google Docs, but you have to pay for it. So it's not free. So if you want to register and if you want to use it, you have to pay to the PaperPile. So that's because Zotero is free, providing all the features that we may need as a researcher. So that would be a good way to use this or move to Zotero. And Rachel has got a question. Articles can be in multiple folders and not duplicated, save space. Absolutely, Rachel. So this is not a folder that we are using on Windows or Mac. So these are the labels. You could see them as the labels. So once you have these resources in your library, when you drag and drop them to a folder, it's not copying it. It's just like labeling it from the resources, and then the original resources are the same. So So you can just like you can have multiple labeling here, and it will be corresponding to single resource. So it's saving space for sure. Does this application connect with EndNote? No, because these are separate softwares. But if you wanna import or export the resources or libraries, if you are moving from EndNote to Zotero, or if you are moving from Zotero to EndNote, you have this export library feature. It can export like with different formats. So you can use BIP text, which is a very convenient way of the exporting documents, and it also supports EndNote XML. So if you are moving from here to EndNote, so you can export your library with EndNote XML. But I'm sure once you start using it, you won't need EndNote or Mendeley or anything else. I'm just like, I don't get paid or anything about Zotero. I just like fan of the bigger collaborations on these days. Since we are going with the questions, I can answer the questions. Please ask along the way, and we can go back to Google Docs and then really harness these powerful tools in our collaborative writing. So if any people joined us, I'll just share the link again so that they can have access to all this document. So this is the Google Docs document that we are working on together. So if you try to manipulate this document, please do so. Just mess up. I'll show you several features. Just type in and then see how it's responsive to our group. And when you type it, it will be shown to other people as well. So if you are using Office 365 now, it also supports, but Google Docs has been doing this feature like many years, and Office just started supporting it through 365. But it is still, for me, lagging on the behind the scenes Microsoft Word, because it takes some time to update across the other people's screen. But now, if you can just like experience it, it is really responsive, and it's really giving you a lot of features to work with your collaborators. So for example, I'll just Control-C and Control-A and delete everything. So I just deleted everything. So you will also see a blank page. So Google Docs has got a great features, but one of my favorite one is the version history. So if you click on the version history here, so you will be seeing what happened within this document. Like this document I created before the workshop started, and then I've seen all these edits happening by hours. So for example, I created the document on 303, I deleted this image file. So I am seeing step by step the history of this document. So if you could just like restore this document back to the original place, you can do it like by just clicking restore this version, and then you will see everything is back in the place. As you can see, there's no save button, and this version history provides all the auto-saved version history so that you can retrieve back to your everything, which is also a really powerful feature of the Google Docs. So there's no losing points, and you can always name the version. So I'll just like the original post, and then this is being marked as a version history, like this is the original post that I created and which is restored from this date and this time. So you will be seeing everything here. You are seeing my name, and the rest of your names are seeing anonymous, because this document is being shared with the anonymity. So for example, here's the document link. When you are here, you have this share option. So with this link option, you don't have to have a Google account, or you don't have to have other kinds of email registration, because this link is open to anyone with editing features. So if I change to commenter feature, it will be like you will be typing the document, but your changes is not going to affect it by the original document. And you can also have this viewer option that nobody could change the content of this document, but only see it. So if I change your permissions to viewer right now, so you will be just like seeing this document. So if you refresh your screen, or if you try to type anything here, you won't be able to, because like all these editing features are retracted right now. So I'll just go back and then make it editor option available again. So if you just refresh your screen, you will be able to update and delete or everything with this document. So I'll just do it for you and delete everything. So let's start writing together now, because this is the whole purpose. So generally what we do is we start with this template so that it will be make it easier for us to start an article. So if you click on this link, you will be seeing our MacPFD template for academic writing. So it has all this like title, author grade, all this required fields from the journals that you can just select and copy it. So you have abstract keywords, introduction with the problem gap hook, outlining, and methods, all this, everything here. So here you will be only seeing this document, no editing features, but what I will do, I will just go back and copy it for you and to the main document so that we can start writing together. All right. So here the document that we have. So for example, if you want to write something here, maybe you could just like type your name and academic degrees here so that we can create the author grade. For example, if I'm being the first author here, I'm just like putting my name and the title and then all this affiliation with me. And you can also do it if you feel like open to it, and you can start typing and try to write together. So as you can see, we started writing an article together. So this is a collaborative way. Thank you, Jean. So this is a great way to collaborate together. So I'll create more spaces for you. And thank you, James, as well. So this is kind of the place that we can write and discuss together. So I'm not going too deep into this Google Docs, but you can do anything you do with the Google Microsoft Word. So you can add images, you can add tables, you have these different kinds of styling options. As you can see on the left side navigation bar, you have these options with the creating the heading styles and everything. So this will be something interactive. When you click on these sections, the Google Docs will take you there to like, it's kind of the right heading and right part of the discussion. So James, I will also share this with you because you have this Met Portal account. So if you don't want to share this document open, so what you can do, you can share this document with your collaborator's email. For example, if I share this document with James, okay, here's the paper for MacPFD14, and then he will be added this document as a collaborator now. So he will all the features that I have and also the everything that we are working together. So, and you also have this opportunity as well, because the link is still open to the public, but if you are working something like more sensitive or something that you don't want to see to be like anybody with this link can be edited or see this document, so it is a good way to share with the only specific people. So you can add this here, just adding their emails. All right, so thank you for the names that you put it here, and I'll just go to introduction section. So if you click my name, if you are seeing this, so when you click the images here, so you will be jumping where the cursor is on this person. So this is a good way to directing people like, I'm here, just take a look, and this would be a great way to do this. So let's come back to introduction and imagine that we are started writing on the topic, and then we are going to cite some resources here. So as you remember, we started using Zotero, and we will be citing some documents here. So thank you, Anonymous Walrus, which is helping me with the correcting my typos. So this is a good way to collaborating as well. So this is a learning point that how you can give feedback. You can provide some feedback. And also, I'll show you how to cite these resources that you added to your Zotero library. So when you're here, so if you install this Zotero connector, when you're on Google Docs, you will be seeing this Zotero button here. So if you don't have this Zotero connector yet, you won't see this button. When I click on this button, so I have several options here. First one is the add citations. So when I click on add citations, Zotero connector connects with my account and also connects with my Zotero desktop application. So for the first time, Zotero asks us what kind of citation style that we would like to use within this document. So I will go with the APA first, and then we can change it to AMA afterwards when we are need to change it, or we can switch back to other different citation styles. So I'll go with the APA 7th edition, and first I'll go with the faculty development, that the papers that we added to our library. So if you are remembering the title, if you are remembering the author names, you will be just like typing, and then Zotero will fill out the rest of the resources for you. So for example, the first citation I added here is done, and then I will go on with the second resource here. So, or second and more resources. Let's say I would like to cite this sentence, like my paraphrasing with more citations. So I'll go with the Dr. Steinhart's studies with the faculty development. I'll add more Steinhart studies. And then as you can see, we can add multiple faculty development or other resources that we would like to cite it here. So it is also giving us the, like, these are the cited resources and these are the resources coming from your library. So when I hit enter, I'll just be seeing this, all these resources are cited with the appropriate citation styles. For example, APA tells us first put the author's last name, and the 7th style says like if there is more than 3 authors, you just cite the first author's last name and with the proceedings at all and the year of the publications. And if you have the same authors, more than the same paper, so you will just like cite the author's last name and cite the years that the paper is having. So these are inline citations. So imagine that we have finished our paper and then we would like to develop our references. So for example, here, this is the coming from the old copy. We have these references here, and then we will just add the bibliographic information. So when I click the Zotero edit bibliography option here, currently we don't have one, so it will just add it. So Zotero will go and look at the inline citations and then take all the resources from our library and then cite them here. So as you can see, this is auto-generated bibliographic styles and then coming from our library. So this is coming from the another citations, and then it's a great way to interact with the citations as well. So, and then I'll just remove this because it is just picking up my old citation copies. So I'll just refresh that. So we have all this refresh button because it is looking for the citations where we inline citations made. We have this inline citations, these like 4 papers, and it is picking up this information from our Zotero library, like all these author names, title of the page, title of the article, and then it is getting us everything that we need according to this APA citation style. So even if I delete this part, as you can see, and then edit them again, Zotero add citations, it will just automatically generate from the resources that we cited. Automatically makes the, automatically makes the inline citations. So for example, let's imagine that we remove this inline citation from the introduction, like the first one. And we are still seeing these resources here. Since we removed it, I'll just go and refresh it. Since we removed from the inline citation, it will just remove from the reference list as well, because the reference correspondence are not available in this document anymore. So imagine that you write this paper with APA style and you got rejected from the journal that is asking you APA, and you want to send another journal and they ask to another citation style. So what you will do in this case, you will go document and preferences here and then choose the other citation styles. In this case, like there will be like AMA, or you could go to Vancouver Springer format or Vancouver superscript format. Like there are lots of citation styles that is here. If there isn't, you can't find it in this list, you can go to manage site styles and then find more styles from the Zotero library. I think we have like almost 6,000 different citation styles that you can look for, but we will stick to AMA first. I'll hit the OK, and this will convert all this inline citations like 1 to 3 here. And all this reference list change according to AMA style. And in this case, like the most tedious part of this numbering format. So if you add before or after to citation, inline citation, you need to change everything proceedingly with these items. So imagine that you are using this Zotero or other reference management software, adding other papers here. And then, for example, we add this Abigail citations, you will see like this is becoming the changing the order here. It didn't pick up on the first time, but here, as you can see, like this became the first article, and the 2 and 4 updated accordingly. So when you go down to the reference list, you will be seeing this Abigail becoming the first paper cited within this document. So this is a good way to playing with the different versions of the citation styles. And you can always use, and by the way, you can also experience this if you want to cite anything from your document. I think you can do it. Just paraphrase something and add citation from your library. I would be really happy to help with these citations as well, because these are like only coming from my library. So if you can just like type anything and add anything here, it will pick up within this text inline, and it will also add to your reference list as well. So please go ahead and then just try out how to do the citations if you have the Zotero installed. Yeah, like 45 minutes is not enough time, I know that, and we needed to do lots of installations. And so we run out of time right now. So you can always email me if you have any questions, and we have several papers coming out how to write in collaborative environments. So it will be also a good guidance for us to work with these collaborative environments. Thank you.